Hello, and welcome back to Rolls Untold. We are glad to have you here. If this is your first time, welcome. We appreciate all the support. If not, welcome back. We are glad to see you. This is the 13th episode of the Fate of Galvera, and there's a lot going on. A lot of loss, a lot of gain. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce our cast. We have, as usual, Alex Weeks playing Pip Tjorvik, Olivia Ros doing a little dance playing Isthmus Vortiscant.
Playing piano.
It's giving
is that
cats.
what's happening?
Oh,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's up to interpretation.
Shimble skanks.
whatever you want it
really
to be.
cat.
But we have Nicole Abarca Powell playing Riley Parker and Dane Giuffre, DJ Cats, playing Omaru Belsarin. Oh. Alright, with that, Alex,
Happy
I'm just
Monday.
gonna throw it over to you, alright?
Yeah. So right below where you're watching, we have a link to our Patreon where you can see a bunch of awesome content that is expanding on the story that we're going to be playing today, and the ones that we've played in the past. If you want to hear all of our favorite moments and our theories, you can check them out there.
You just can't get enough of us.
If you want to know if Gabe fucked, that's where you check it out.
We did.
That is accurate.
We did roll that, didn't we?
Yeah. And if
You want to know if Izzy fucked?
Oh my
I'm
god.
going to toss it back to you, Tanner.
Yeah, good idea. And I believe, with all that said, that is everything we have to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, one question per use.
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you ready to roll?
No.
Okay.
We'll get it one of these
Show's
days.
canceled. Show's canceled.
See you
One
all
of
Guys,
these
next
we're
week.
days,
done.
guys.
Have a great night.
But, a surprise for all of you, I'm gonna need just Alex to stay in the room.
The rest of us die.
Are we being kicked out? We're dead.
It's actually turning into poltergeist.
You're dead.
Have fun, everybody.
Hey, Alex, good luck.
Cool.
Yeah,
This is why we can't leave the room.
I know, I'm sorry.
Well, this is why Dane can't leave the room.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll miss you.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
Okay.
So, we'll start off. Last episode as a bit of a recap. On the Fate of Galvera, our adventurers faced off with Victor Greaves, the leader of the Greavesman mercenary group. They bested him only to witness his true power, how he cultivated all of these followers and started to kind of conquer the settlements. A power very, very similar to our very own Riley Parker. With the consummation of his heart, Riley ended up gaining some of his power in the effect of new claws, and immediately after, they were met with a very familiar figure. The man from Polefemo. This man descended down and declared himself the original Kaiman, named Calix Taligan. And Gabriel, seeing that this was not a fight that the party could win, took it upon himself to distract and procure the safety of the party and the Flame of Angeril. And with this, he whisked the party away, and with this sacrifice, they fell upon Vardenzerol, not a day's journey from Donic, the home village, or home city of Omaru and Isthmus. Now, before they went, a small granny approached them, kind of out of the blue, and invited them back to her hovel for some relaxation and a little bit of rest, for they were all pretty beaten and battered. So they ventured into the temple of Dolas Gran, where they found her hovel at the very back of this dark, empty chamber. And from here, they're all laid down to rest inside of Grammy Millanie's hovel, located deep within this temple. Now, there's not many separate rooms inside this hut, but they all find a place to bunker down and sleep for the night. And as rest takes you and sleep embraces you. Pip.
Oh.
You hear the trickling of water and the crunching of leaves behind you. The cool wind blows through the air as you and your nomadic village begin to head south to a less snowy area. Followed by the pitter-patter of footsteps behind you, you hear a voice, all too familiar and long missed. Pip, now, don't begin too far ahead. Remember, I said you could follow me and your mother while we scout the woods, but we don't know exactly what's out here. Leave him alone, Fizz. He's but a pup. Let him roam. I'll be keeping an eye on him, don't worry. He'll be safe. And you're taken by the hand of a young otter. Kind of auburn of hair with a little mark right around their eye. This is Patter, who curiously pulls you further into the forest. But before then, Pip, what do you do?
I think I'm not quite sure what is happening. There's a lot of thoughts running through my mind, but all of them are kind of muddling together. None of them are really clear. None of them are really like dominating the mind. Just as soon as they come in, they flood out, and I look back at my parents, at my mother, at my father, and I think I probably feel Patter tugging on me. My younger sister, always eager to sort of discover and always eager to do something new. A family trait.
Of course.
And when I look down at myself, am I the Pip I know, or am I younger now, or?
You notice you're younger. Your siblings are also younger. And, well, you only see one as of right now, but you're maybe 10 years younger? Maybe a little older than that, but you're still but a pup.
And I think I sort of transition from this haziness into whatever's going on, and I let Patter lead me into where she wants me to go.
Okay. And as you kind of move through this small kind of path that's laid out just of where people have traveled before, you go slowly, and Patter's just kind of looking around, nonchalant, still holding out your hand. And you hear a rustle in the bushes, this shh. And as you all stop, boom!
Oh God!
I gotcha! I bet you were scared, you weenie. As you see Trickle pop out of the bushes, leap forward, kind of do a little bit of a somersault and roll, and then take off down the path.
And I just I think I did jump, right? As Trickle has popped out of the bushes, and I kind of just chuckled to myself. And I think I surprised myself, because it's been a minute since I've really laughed. It's been a minute since the last time I can remember laughing.
And Patter, as the moment settles a little, pulls on your hand a little more. Oh, Bob, so I'll help you find her. We can work together, a perfect team, right?
You know, and I get right down, I like kneel down eye to eye with Patter, and I say, you know, I heard from some book I read that Father brought back, that twins have a connection, something that no other no one else can sort of see into. Do you have an idea of where that rascal might have gone on too.
Oh? That way!
Alright. You go on up ahead, and I'll make my way around, and we'll catch her. On both ends.
She sprints off, and you see her kind of disappear down the path. And as you walk around to kind of cut off where Patter might be, you trip. And as you look down, there's a small kind of tree root that protrudes out of the ground and continues to go. And you see there's a bit of ripped cloth from Trickle's bag on the tree root.
I go pick it up, and I want to, like, bring it right to my nose and sniff it and see if I can catch the scent, and maybe where Trickle has gone.
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival.
Ooh, 24? 24.
Yeah, that definitely does it. You kind of... And you can get like a clear, almost like path as you kind of bolt through the bushes. And as you do, you can hear to the left crunching leaves and footsteps. And you look, and there's a few broken twigs and branches as you kind of are still following Trickle's trail. And again, you come across another one of these roots. And as you look a little closer to it, it almost seems like there's a slight surge of energy. Every once in a while, just kind of running through.
I don't mind it at first as I look across the way, and I kind of just peek my head up, and my ears perched on top of my head as I'm scanning for my sister, and then I think that wave of energy goes, and I kind of give it a double look. I look back, and I just hear it again. I keep hearing this magic, and it's almost like it's calling to me. It's almost like I'm supposed to see it. And so I go back and investigate it.
Okay, you go back and investigate it, and you notice that it's like just a constant surge. It has almost like a rhythm to it that surges through almost like the very fibers of the actual tree root. And it's very small. It's only about yay big. And it just kind of loops over and over again with this kind of light bluish, greenish light.
I think I take out my journal and I just make note of it. I draw a little picture of kind of what I'm seeing, and I write down the details that I notice, and then I probably even take a little bit too much time. I've realized that, like, I still have to find my sister. Basically, that I'm still responsible for them, and I got a little too caught up in my own thing, and I swiftly kind of put it away, stuff it inside my bag, and I double the pace.
All right, and as you kind of pick up the pace, you go along and you see more and more of these tree roots getting a little bigger each time, kind of weaving throughout the ground until you finally come to a large tree stemming from kind of like this center glade. And there's a massive hole that leads down into, not a tunnel, but further into the tree. Further than the width of the actual tree itself. It's very, very unnatural.
I think I want to just walk around the perimeter as I notice how this tree has a strangeness about it. Before I kind of approach the mouth of the opening to this, I just call out, "Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Pater?"
Patter?
I kind of look back behind me, both sides, just doing one final scan to see if I can find Patter. Before driving in. Is it very dark inside?
It is very dark. But you see those same kind of arcane energy that just
Does it
lights-
light up?
it lights up almost like a runway where it just goes, and they're everywhere. It almost like spans the entirety of this like tunnel, and it just trickles all the way down, and then does it again in rhythmic surges.
Almost like involuntarily, almost like I tripped, or like I couldn't quite. I was like walking up a set of stairs, and I thought there was one more step, right? I just kind of, that first step falls towards it, and I feel myself like lulled by this light, and make my way in.
As you do, poof! It's as if you hit a wall, and you notice this. And as you look down, you notice wasn't there before, but you now have this glove with this this orb that is on the backside. Not even an orb, but a small circular signet and a watch. Each are glowing this kind of bluish color, not the regular golden that you're familiar with. You're familiar with your watch,
Yeah.
the glove, but they're different.
I would love to. I don't think it's even like a conscious thought. I think I'm so used at this point to searching for answers that I reach to my bag for my father's notebook, the one that I recovered from Mortimer's ship,
And as you reach, it's not there.
and I just kind of take my bag. I think I even sit down on the floor, my legs outstretched, my tail kind of curling right around as I lift open the bag, and I'm just rummaging through it trying to find it, because I must have just misplaced it. I couldn't have lost it. I must have just misplaced it.
Mortimer's book is not there. Your father's book is not there. All of the blueprints that were in there are not there. Instead, replaced are pictures and portraits of a child's ramblings, very much trying to mimic their father's. And little drawings and some rations, like little snacks that you found, some berries that are in a pouch.
I think I find these things, and I keep digging and digging and digging, trying to find the thing that I'm looking for, just kind of ignoring what it's not. And when I get so frustrated that I pick up the whole bag and I turn it over as I dump everything out.
As you dump everything. It's just everything that you found before, but no books, no blueprints, no journals.
I stand to my feet, and am I very far in? Am I still near the entrance?
You are at the entrance. You are at this entrance with like a barrier.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And it's that shimmering kind of bluish greenish color that the surges have.
I reach out with my hand, with the glove, and touch the barrier.
And as you do, it slowly begins to fade away, as if burning through a piece of parchment, until the barrier is all but dispelled. And the tunnel is now open to you.
Without even collecting my things, I just take that first step into the darkness.
Okay. You step a little more. And the deeper you go in, the more the outside world kind of disappears. You see these strange bluish, greenish, surging lights kind of carving a path for you as you go down these winding halls. And it very much stretches and weaves throughout the entire thing, moving across the walls like arcane ley lines. And as you continue forth, all the way to the end of the hall, you come across a grand central chamber. And when you look up, you see it's domed with a large hole in the center, large vines hanging down, looming with those same surging, arcane patterns. And from that hole, the sunlight spotlights the very center of the room, where there's a rotating orb, almost, and it glows this soft hum of, this soft hue of that same greenish blue color. It lightly hums and kind of reverberates, pulsating like a heart. And it looks like a twisting bramble, as this seems to be the heart of the tree. On your left and right side, further back from this actual orb that is suspended in the center, there are almost like glass panes made of this kind of like bluish greenish tree sap. These walls separated, and in the left one you see a desk, paperwork and books, and there are blueprints hung up all along the wall, the back wall, and an elderly otter. Not elderly, but an older otter. Your father, Fizz, sitting there kind of muttering to himself and writing down something, taking notes, putting stuff in his journal, maybe making a blueprint. You don't know, you can't see, but he is there sitting at this desk. And in the other one, your sisters. And your mother's joined them. You see Bramble, your mother, and you see Trickle, both sitting on the ground, listening intently as Hatter is up there telling a grandiose story to them, and they're all oohing and eyeing at these great stories that she's telling. You can't hear anything, but you just see it from the birth of the room.
I remember this, actually. It's in pieces now, because it was a different otter then, and so much has been in my life has changed, but seeing my sister take on her first story as lore keeper for my tribe, it was a defining moment for her. And I used to come back to this often, this exact thought. And I think I let a smile creep across my face. And my heart wants to go to Patter and my mother and Trickle, but my feet are taking me to the desk. And even though my eyes are on my sisters and my family, I can feel my hand rummage across the wood. Small, much taller, because I'm still, I'm quite a bit of a younger pup than I am nowadays. But I run my hand along the oak wood of this desk that I can feel, and
So they are behind these glassy walls. You cannot get to them.
Okay, well then I put my hand on this glassy wall.
But you do walk forth.
Yeah.
As you take your first step, you feel this slight rumble. take a second step, and the rumble gets bigger as you see these arcane ley lines rush. And they seem to all rush towards this center heart as it pulses more. And the more you take a step, the larger the rumbles and the brighter these pulses get.
I think that's enough to like snap me out of this trance and stop in my place. As I take in what's happening to the room. You said it's like, can you describe the floor?
The floor is kind of like this amalgamation of like twisted, knotted branches and vines that have all kind of formed into a solid ground, and kind of swirl around in like this almost like spiral pattern, kind of tying around each other until it all stems up into this kind of spiraling, like almost protrusion from the ground, holding up this orb, this heart. And the heart is maybe about 3 feet off the ground. For you, it would probably be right here in front of your face, if you would walk up to it.
I'm gonna take a few more steps towards it, yeah.
Okay, you take one more step, 2 more steps, and as you do, the rumbles continue. With that third step, cracks, fissures in the ground begin to almost separate the rooms as you see both of the rooms start to kind of lean.
Is there, I want to take a look around and see if there's anything I can do to sort of like stabilize them, to sort of like attach them to each other. Maybe the glass panels, I'm not sure exactly what, but anything, maybe the roots actually that are on the floor. If I can tie something around them and try to like create a winch and pull them together.
So from where you're at, you've maybe walked about 10 feet.
Yeah.
Within the room. They are another 20 feet away, with you being maybe 5 feet away from this orb. And every step you take, the fissure grows larger.
Would I want to take a moment to scan the room and realistically make a judgment call on if I can get to, ignoring the orb, if I can get to the sort of like the fissure breaking point where my father and the rest of my family are, and create that tie.
You can try. It stems from where this orb is, out in kind of this Y shape, and it goes straight down the middle and then cuts off right in front of the room.
Yeah, no, I don't think... I take a moment to make the plan as I look around the room, and I don't even bring this orb into the calculations. I see my family, who I haven't seen for 6 months, and I see my father, who has not been alive for 6 months. But that is so internalized in this moment that it's not even a thought. It's just I have to keep my family together, and I bolt off and attempt to save them from falling.
And as you take 1, 2, 3 more steps, the walls and the floor of the actual tree under the walls falls backwards as you see them fall into what seems like an abyss now, and a never-ending just void. As they fall, the orb starts to spin and spin and spin as this kind of greenish, bluish, almost like sparkle of dust kind of emits from it. And these 2 kind of arcane strings reach out, but they can't quite reach towards the rooms, but everything slows to a halt. Almost. Time is just barely moving as the rooms keep falling. And you see the glove illuminates.
I look to my father first and see him disappearing into the darkness. And I look back at my family and see them disappearing into the darkness. And I think I just get frozen in fear.
And as you hold out your arm with the glove, your fingertips get caught by this another arcane strand, lightly kind of stemming from your fingertips. And you know you have to choose. They are stretched to the max, but you can lengthen one of them. You can't lengthen both. And as you look at both of these rooms, a slight glare from the arcane stretches, kind of hits each glass. And as you look over towards your father, Fizz, the glare just for a moment shows you instead sitting at a desk until it changes back to your father. And the glare on the right room changes as you don't see your mother or your sisters, but you see your friends. You see Omaru, you see Riley, and you see Isthmus.
What?
Just for a moment, as it changes back to the rest of your family. And even further, the rooms begin to fall.
And I reach out to my father.
Okay? You reach out to your father, and as you do, the arcane almost like whips these tethers. The right one disappears, and the left one attaches to this left room. And you see the right room crumble.
And I don't only close my eyes to it, I don't only shut my ears to it, but I block it from my mind entirely. It is not something I can even think about. It is almost like something... It's something that I am willingly ignoring.
Okay? And as you do, you shut your eyes, and you can hear the dragging of these heavy branches and brambles get brought up. And then you hear this as the room goes dim. The arcane surges go from this kind of darker green, and then the orb closes and changes to this golden color. Your gauntlet, your glove changes to this golden color. The watch changes to a golden color. And everything else changes to this golden color. Dims. As you then see, the room is reconstructed, rewound, and empty. There are just sap, dried amber walls, and that single beam of light coming from the center. But the heart is still there, glowing a golden hue, as it almost resonates with you on the decision that you just made.
And I think if I can, I rush over to where my father was, where this desk was, and is no longer there, and I freeze for a second, and then I just start to not be able to quite breathe, and I'm getting very dizzy as I fall to the ground, and I think I trip on one of those gnarled roots, and I catch myself on them, and I rip one out of the ground, and I rip another, and it's like I'm trying to rip through them to find where they went. If they're not here, they must have fallen. It must have fallen. It closed up on them. I didn't save them. I couldn't get there. But maybe if I dig deep enough, if I fall deep enough, I can find it again.
As you rip at these branches and brambles and thorns that make up the ground, the floor of this chamber, you look up for just a moment and you notice you are now in one of these rooms, but confined within a 5-foot space, as then everything goes dark. Can you go ahead and go grab Omaru for me?
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take my coffee with me. Whew. I can barely breathe. Okay. You said Omaru?
Omaru.
Dane, you're being called. Oh my god. Hello.
Hello. It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Omaru.
Mm-hmm.
You find yourself in a room
Mm-hmm.
cramped with books, stacked towering above you, surrounding a small crate on the floor, with a pile of pillows before it. Leaned against this crate, there's a few sacks and knapsacks and like a bags full of different texts and mostly maps.
Okay.
Most of them are made by Rayor Dreyer,
Okay.
a name you've become familiar with. Some by Adamar Vortiscant. But one in particular, a large atlas, leather-bound, very, very well done, with a golden clasp, locked, and imprinted on the bottom, where the spine is. Omaru Felsarin. What would you like to do?
I think looking around the space, I'm seeing some of the great works that I've come to cherish, and there are some great works of cartography and artwork that are in the filigree and the small corners of Rayor's work that I've come to adore, and some of the more stern and factual bits that I've learned from Adamar that I can see in his work. And the large atlas is closed.
It is closed.
I would like to take the front, the cover of it and begin to open it up.
Okay. As you unclasp the golden latch that is on it, and you open it up and the pages flurry out, and you see from them these almost like light blue footsteps, these paw prints, start to lead toward a pile of books.
Do they look familiar to me?
They look, I mean, from what you would know, a dragon, or maybe a lizard, or some reptilian creature.
I'll follow to the books.
Okay. As you do, you notice there's a slight whitish, bluish glow that is kind of emanating from this lofty pile of books through the cracks, just trying to peek out.
I think I walk up, and as I walk up, I'm giving room to these prints that are being made towards this pile. And I'll get closer, I'll kneel down and reach into the light that's coming at me.
Okay. As you do, pull out another book. This book in particular is kind of like this white and silver cover. It is very much the book that your spell book.
Oh, okay.
And
It's-
as you pick that up, the footsteps then turn and lead slowly to a blank wall. And as they get there, this wall seems to form kind of like this door, this closed door with, through the cracks, you can see that same bright, light bluish hue shining through.
I think I'm holding my spell book in my hands. And it's glowing as well.
It is also lightly glowing with this same color.
Okay. I'll look back to the workstation that I was looking at. Is anything of note when I turn around, or is it...
There, what do you mean of note?
Is there glowing behind me still, or is it more like a darkening as I continue forward?
It is not really darkening, but not drawing your attention as much.
Okay.
As if everything is out of focus as you keep turning
Sure.
towards where the footsteps go.
Beautiful. I think I turn back to that old workstation, and my vision clouds for a second, and as it blurs away, the light from the book draws me back towards this doorway. And I'll look and I'll trace it with my eyes. I'll take the book, hold it with two hands, and walk forward.
Okay. And as you walk forward, the doorway seems to open. Now, there actually is no noise from it, but it is just this blank white void of light, which is counterintuitive, but...
Yes. I stand before it, and I look out into the nothingness, white nothingness. And one last time, I'm going to look back as the light pours into the room, and everything still fuzzy and disorienting. I'll turn back to the doorway, and then in a moment of realizing that I don't see spit anywhere, but realizing and recognizing the footprints, I say to myself, okay, okay. Zemphira, guide me. And I walk through the doorway.
You begin to fall, and immediately once you fall, your arms outstretched, almost like eagle position. As you do, these shackles form around your wrists and your ankles, and then this almost like ring of silver comes around you as you are now shackled to this, and then suspended in midair. And as you see this stony prison starts to build itself, there's a spiraling staircase that goes down with these kind of obsidian black rooms suspended in the center with chains, a very familiar sight of Polefimo prison as you look straight down into the never-ending depths of this hellhole that you once were in. But you're calm as you feel a flicker of lightning or electricity or something just flit around your wrists and your ankles and up your back. And you don't feel alone. What would you like to do?
So I'm suspended with my wrists and ankles essentially
Chained
holding me
to
by
this
chains.
almost like silver ring that is in stasis in the air, hovering above this darkness of prison. And you do see, I failed to mention, those same footprints leading straight from you into the depths of the prison.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think I close my eyes for a moment. I take a deep breath in. And with my hands, I'll grab at the chains that connect to my shackles and essentially cast the cantrip Shocking Grasp that I have in an attempt to push energy outward and pull in at the same time.
Okay. As you grasp onto these shackles, you cast this spell, and your shackles shatter as you fall once again. And you are falling faster this time, but the breeze of wind is not abrasive, but almost cooling, almost like free. Until you hit the bottom. Not rough, but just land.
On my feet?
However you want to land.
Superhero
Superhero pose, whatever
Can I
you
roll
want to do.
for it?
Totally.
Okay. I'm not even gonna add acrobatics. I'm just gonna see what happens. It's an 8. I think I face plant.
Okay. You absolutely faceplant.
But I still feeling earth, stone.
It's almost like feeling almost like dirt or like a dusty ground.
Interesting. Okay.
And as you kind of prop yourself back up, the dust is kind of settling, and then you hear this all around you as you look up, and you see the prison is concaving around itself. It's collapsing in on itself. Nothing's hitting you, but all of the debris crashing around you. And the dust rising from this starts to move and form until you're in shackles once again. Brought down to the ground. And you look up and there's a council before you. There's 6 members. And in the middle, you see a man with a giant silver serpent rising from behind him, and it goes to strike back, and as it does, it stops right before your face. Once again, you feel the around your wrists and arms.
Mm-hmm.
Stronger this time.
As this serpent goes to strike at me, I think there's a moment of calling to a higher power that I think Omaru feels in themselves. And then there's the words that were spoken to him, that my soul is bound to another. And I think pulling on that notion, I realize again that I'm not alone here. And I whisper, let's do this, Spit. And I'll simply go up and try to bust out of the chains again. But I imagine that I think Spit erupts from my shackles as I rip them apart.
As you rip them apart, you see this kind of eruption of electricity form before you, and it... No dragon, though.
Mm.
But you do see those same footprints leading behind you as another door opens up. The serpent slowly...
And I take a step back as it slowly is going towards where I would have been. And when I get up and I walk away, do I see a version of myself left behind? Or is it just empty?
It's a little of kind of like this ghost of you. This kind of, this empty, ethereal, almost astral version of you. Just a white blank canvas of what Omaru was.
Seeing that, I'll take a second. Think about it for but a moment. That something might be telling me of what is to come. And then walk towards the next door.
As you start to walk, the serpent rears back up and begins to give chase to you. And as you walk through the door, you're taken into this thick brush of bramble. It's dark. And as you do, there's just thorns and trees and vines everywhere. It's thick, but you see on the very, very far side, light shines through just barely.
I think I instinctively go for the new bow that I have. This bow that I'm able to turn into two short swords. Do I have it on me?
You do not. You have yourself.
And I think I grit my teeth and I run through the bramble. And similarly to the shackles, I think every time my hand catches a vine, I am casting Shocking Grasp in an attempt to just like bolster my hands as to not be lacerated, but also to try and make way towards this light.
Okay. As you go to brush through these and take it, the thorns and brambles are getting stuck in your hands and scraping, ripping your clothes just tiny bits. And you take 1d4, well, you take one. You take 1 piercing damage.
Okay.
Do you continue?
Yeah.
Okay, you keep going through, and as you do, you take 4 points of piercing damage, getting scraped up even more, some getting your face this time as little trickles of blood kind of come down your face. Are you continuing?
The light seems like it gotten closer?
It's much closer.
Yes, then 100%. I'm just pushing through.
Okay. You take 3 more points of piercing damage as you burst through. And as you burst through, everything gets lighter. You find yourself amidst a tower. You see that your friends are all around on this massive tower, spanning hundreds of feet below the ground, where you see the forest dwells, and you can hear slight fighting below. You see Pip as he's constructing this almost like arcane barrier of gold that wraps around the crest of the tower. You see Isthmus mid-air with her lance about to strike this monstrosity of a creature aided by Riley, who has 2 Eldritch Blasts, one above, one below, about to also try and take down whatever this monstrosity is. And then you turn your head forth as you hear this not 15 feet from your head. This billowing, shadowy dragon rises massive. And you hear this as in the footsteps that you saw before, these lightly blue illuminated footsteps, you see a fully grown, large, cerulean, opalesque dragon, a drake, winged, with a saddle and with bits of armor on its head and back and wings. You see a fully grown spit.
Oh my god.
As it comes over, looks at the dragon and prepares itself. It looks up at you, gives you a nod, and then looks back at the dragon, snarls, lowers its wing. What do you do?
I look forward. I look to the side, and I catch Spit's now large, I'm assuming, yay big eye.
Yes, very much so.
And And then I start to have flashbacks to 5 years ago, when I was in the cage with that draconic beast. And I feel like in a similar way, I put my hand to Spit's side of his head. I look forward and I go, charge. And then I grab onto one of his spines and I pull myself up and jump to get onto the saddle, and then ride him towards this black dragon.
Absolutely. As the serpentine body of Spit dives down, comes back up, Spit sends his bolt of lightning arcing at this dragon, and it but leaves you an open shot. What do you do?
I search for my bow. I don't search for my bow. I think I just do the motion of what a bow would look like as electricity and light forms a bow in my hands, and I go, and I aim for the spot.
Absolutely.
And I let loose.
And as you do, this arrow goes through, and the landscape changes. And instead of this kind of forested area, you see a massive canyon. You hear the fighting still, but not just on the ground of these people. You see dragons on the ground warring with each other. And in the sky, you see multiple dragons, almost like a dogfight. And dragons falling from the sky, and this arrow turns to this arcing lightning bolt. Crashes into this dragon as it begins to fall. And your dragon goes up into the ground and begins to charge. The landscape comes back again, and what you see is this shadowy dragon falling back to the tower. What would you like to do?
I see from the top black dragon falling.
Yes.
Do I see its rider?
You don't.
I think, and it's crashing towards the tower,
It's crashing back towards the tower,
as if it would crash land into it.
as if it would land on the tower. Yes, like the top of it.
Okay, then knowing that that's where my friends are and that it could collapse the tower if it might hit it, I think I climb out of the saddle, I unloose myself from it for a second, and I climb up to Spit's head, and I go, faster! And as he charges forward, in a moment, I reach for where my swords would be, but instead two gleaming blades of light and lightning form in my hand, and I push off of Spit's nose and dive deep into this thing to see if I can kill it and divert it somehow from the top of the tower.
Beautiful. As you leap from Spit, you see the landscape change again, and this dragon, you find yourself holding two lightning bolts as you spin, and come crashing down straight onto the tower, but diverting it from your friends, as it's almost like embedded in the side of this dragon, coming down as just one gigantic lightning bolt crashing down into it.
Sick.
Now you are standing atop this dragon as the landscape reverts back with two arcing lightning light swords staring at this dragon right where you want it. What do you want to do?
I think there's a moment of, I look up and I see Spit potentially still careening towards us, and I know he's not going to run into us, but I walk up to its massive eye, yay big, and I point a lightning sword at its pupil, and I go, tell him we're coming. We're coming fast. That's
Okay.
all I do.
And as you do, the dragon stands back up and starts to roar in your face as the landscape changes once more, and you see this arcing lightning bolt come across, decapitate the creature, and its body falls over the side of the tower. And as you stand and you are now looking not just through your eyes, but through someone else's eyes. You look upon this grand canyon of the alternate landscape that you've been visualizing. And you see this massive, gargantuan, titanic, draconic figure. It's fearsome. Its presence is incredible. Its size belittles that of even the canyon. And it slowly... And as it steps and the ripples of shockwaves go across the ground, the dragons take to the sky to avoid and land back down, continuing their battles and wars. And you see the spiny protrusions of what look like bone coming out of its back and its face. It roars as it looks straight at you. And as it does, the landscapes seem to merge and cross as you see a shimmer of almost green go across it and fade. And as the landscapes revert back to Omaru with your friends, the monstrosity is dead, whatever it was. The field is down. The warring has stopped. And you look directly into the eyes of Isthmus. And you see footprints. Those same white, bluish footprints leading directly from you to her. Speaking of, could you go grab Isthmus for me?
Yeah, sure. I could do that. Okay. Fuck. All right. We go hard. Okay, anyway. Hi. You're wanted?
Yeah, I think so. What else is new?
All right.
What do you want, Tanner? This has been killing me.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I was like fucking the chair.
Isthmus,
Yeah.
you stand before a council. You're young. You're afraid. The faces of all these people seem to sneer and gawk at your presence, though no one person is discernible. Only appearing as shadowy figures in a smoky room. But one such presence stands out and stands before you, a large, crooked smile upon her face, reaching out towards you, arms outstretched, beckoning you to come to her. But her eyes never meet yours. She never looks at you. Only to those around her who are watching her every move. Now, Isthmus, what do you do?
Do I recognize this person? Can I see her face, or is it also
Another shadowy figure.
I step away. I think I start looking for exits immediately. I think I'm not trying to make any sudden moves, but I'm looking for an out. I don't know
You look
this.
for an out, and it's just smoke behind you. You're surrounded by all of these shadowy figures, looking at you and seeming to gossip to each other. They turn to you, and then they turn back, and then they turn back to you. They turn to another. The only one who's beckoning towards you. The only way to go.
I walk towards the figure, but very hesitantly, and I'm also trying to pick up on the whispers of the people around me and what exactly they're saying.
They are definitely dissonant whispers. They are...
Do I take damage?
Do you want to?
No.
They don't really seem to actually say anything. It's just a bunch of hush hush, a bunch of sneers and...
Yeah, I walk faster towards the arms.
Okay. And as you do, the arms slowly take you in and give you a gentle hug. And they rest their chin on your shoulder. And you can tell they're looking up at the rest of the people who are gawking. This is your mother. This is Elora.
I don't think Izzy hugs her back. I think she's kind of just standing there letting it happen. And maybe an arm, like...
Okay. And as you reach up to touch her, everything fades to this kind of smoky haze and reforms as you're outside of the city walls. And as you're outside of these city walls, that same woman with that leering same smile, with crocodile tears protruding from her face, waves to you from the front gates as you venture forth and depart. And before you, following what you're following, is this kind of radiant light of a woman, a different woman, with gleaming gold hair and stocky but beautiful. And they press on.
I don't even look back. I think I turn away from her and I walk straight behind the other person.
As you do, the smoky haze again. And now you're confined within this kind of semicircular, stony wall, familiar walls of the Wyverdin Academy, the Institute. And there's a stone granite slab in front of you with impact marks in the direct center, with cracking shatters that have gone all the way to the outside of the stone. Your fists, they are bloody and battered and bruised and cracked just as the stone in front of you. Isthmus, what do you do?
I keep hitting the wall. I think I just keep punching into the wall. I think this is Izzy, like, oh, I know this.
It only
know
takes
where I
one, and you... the wall shatters. And 15 feet forth, another granite slab, pristine, a little bit larger, a little bit thicker, a little bit tougher, denser. Your next challenge. Isthmus, what do you do?
I think she keeps going to hit it. I think she runs up. I think she goes into a rage. I think she just starts pounding again. Like, I'm not gonna stop.
Same fist, you just faster and faster, and so you punch straight through the wall, shattering. And again, 20 feet ahead. But this time the granite slab is 100 feet up. And just as thick, just as pristine, even denser than the one. Your next challenge, just another obstacle you have to break. What do you do? Do you step forth? Do you do the same dance again?
I think there's, if you'll allow me, I think she sees a version of herself run up again and start pounding into the wall, but she's very outside of her body, and she's watching this happen, and then she sees that wall gets broken down. There's another and another and another, and then she sees like just hundreds of Izzy's just trying to hit this, break down each wall. And I think for the first time she kind of is outside of herself and is able to see, like, and she looks down at like her bloody hands, and then I think she just turns around to see like what is also here. Where am I? What's going on?
And as you do, that golden-haired woman is behind you. She reaches out to you. A more focused look on her, as this is Sir Bartil, Sir De Leon, your mentor. She reaches out to you.
Yeah, I think I take her hand.
She takes your hand. You're ready. The haze comes again and reforms, and you see as she lets go, a document forms in her hand. She crumples it as you see a silver serpentine, almost like coil around the document as she grips it tightly, gritting her teeth. She drops it as it hits the ground, into that fate of smoke that's been so constant. This unfamiliarity. And that smoke then reforms, and you're in a cave. And in this cave, you see another stone wall, this time green, but with these kind of red veins that flow along it like free-flowing rivers spanning over it, very reminiscent of you. And in front of it, a man, billowing with shadow, a sneer across his face just as well, with two kind of shadowy, translucent daggers in his hand. And you look around, and you see the bodies of your troop. Bartil and points it straight at the man. Isthmus, what do you do?
Where's Ben? Do I see Ben?
You see Ben.
Is he on the ground?
He's on the ground.
I grab him and I start running out of the cave.
You grab him, and as you do, smoky haze.
He wasn't supposed to be there. I look at Bartil, and I want to go to stop her. I feel like Izzy's trying to change this moment. Izzy's trying to like just change anything about this moment. I can't have this happen again. No. Wait, there has to be another solution. There has to be another out. And I go to stop her from making that first move that I knew was like the wrong move.
You go to stop her, and she's in this stasis. Everything seems like it's frozen. And as you get closer and closer to the man, as you approach Bartil, your almost rivers of free-flowing arcane energy start to illuminate this red color. As you can feel this new power that you've come across surging through you. It's good. It's fucking powerful.
I think it's as I get closer to him or to Bartil.
As you get closer to Bartil, but also to him.
I feel that and finally look at this guy. I think she's been avoiding him. I think she's been worried about like her own people so much that she's been avoiding the actual problem. And I think as she feels that power, she like snaps her head and is like, oh, okay. And she starts like running toward him, about to attack.
Okay. And as you do, you run towards him. How do you attack?
I think I go to grab my lance. Is there?
No.
I just fucking deck him.
But as you reach this
Oh.
arcane lance of just chaotic energy stems out, and you slam it straight through him. You see not just a hole through him, you explode his entire chest cavity out as he... The room, that haze. Oh, did that power feel good? And you see the wall crack just a little bit. around.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
As the room reforms, you see that same cracked wall. But this time, there are these red eyes that are upon it. These almost shadowy eyes just a few inches in front of this green cracked wall that very much is reminiscent of what you just pulled from you. This lance, this arcane power. And in front, this raging billow of smoke and shadow of a man holding a glaive at Gabriel's throat as Gabriel is knelt to the ground, bloodied and battered. Your friends all behind you, outstretched, almost again in a stasis, like everything is frozen, with this billowing smoke coming around to reach your friends. Isthmus, what do you do?
Cry. I think she is crying. I think she's realized like she's just reliving every terrible moment. And in the same way that she turned away from her friends and looked at what was actually attacking us, I think she walks up to... I think in the same way, because everything's very like frozen and everything,
Yes.
I think she stands in between the glaive and Gabe and like looks directly at what I'm assuming is Shadow Daddy.
As you stand in front of this shadowy Shadow Daddy,
God damn it.
that same ley lines of arcane energy, more now, cover your arm, almost as if you've cracked under the pressure a little more. And they illuminate with this bright red yet again. Oh, it's there.
I think I look at him and I say, "You shouldn't have underestimated us." And I grab his head and I want to just all of my energy, I just want to flow it into his head and just crush it.
Okay. And as you do, you... as the room wisps away with that same hazy smoke. But the wall still stands. You see the wall crack a little more, just to the outsides. And then, as the smoke reforms once again, always the same, isn't it? But now you're in a manor. A large, venerated, rich, luxurious manor. Very familiar. And you see that same leering woman with that smile ever encompassing her face, reaching out to you with one hand. It's just you two.
No. No. I'm not. No. I don't want to.
As you say those words, out of the shadows, your friends behind you, but this time with this same hazy, shadowy essence that Alora has seemed to be composed of around their mouths and shackling their arms as they just stand there, attentive.
She walks up, and I think as she grabs the hand, I want to grab it as hard as possible. I want to like show almost like a warning shot
Okay.
of like, and I want to grab her and be like, let them go.
And as you grab her hand, the smile still never leaving her face. It's not, the haze doesn't disappear this time, you just get moved as it... And now you're in a grand banquet hall. The same shadowy figures that were all sneering and gawking, or not just sneering and gawking at you, but at your friends who are lined up at this center table. Not even center table, but this table that is almost raised where you would normally sit as a royal or as the premier guest, right? And she holds your hand, and these sneering guests almost seem to turn and dance like cogs, and then stop and look at you, then look at your friends, and then continue to sneer. And it's just a continual dance as your mother holds your hand, and your friends are still bound and then forced to their knees as your mother just stands there in the center of the ballroom with you, looking upon your friends.
Why? What do you want? I left. What could you possibly want?
Never looks at you yet again. He just keeps that smile. And now, instead of holding Alora's hand, you hold on to Omaru's hand and onto Pip's hand. And you see Riley holding onto Omaru's hand as you are all lined up and looking at this massive raging fire, the smoke billowing up to the skies and all around you as you see that same prominent, raging, billowing, smoky figure start to approach. A little bit of a smirk on his face. That glaive, shadowy and black to his side, and he raises a hand. And as he does, this massive hand of fire raises from the top of the flames, reaches into it, grabs out this coiling sword of smoke, and you see this smoke coil around this sword in the shape of a draconic figure, this spiraling serpent. And as it raises the sword, begins to descend as if to crush everything in its path, but everything stops yet again. And you feel that surging arcane power. The fissures have grown more as the pressure is always on. But the power is even greater now. Isthmus, what do you do?
Oh, gosh. I think I let go of my friend's hands.
Okay.
And I don't want to. But I think I let go. But before I do, I look at I look at Omaru and I'm like, please run. And I let go and I just start charging up to him. And I want to, like, I don't pull a lance, I don't do anything, but I just want to focus all of this energy that I'm feeling on this one guy. Everything is just, I need to protect my friends, and I'm going to stop them. And if it ends up with nothing of me left, then as long as they got out.
You run. As you do, a single tear drops from your eye, and you let out this howling scream. And as you do, your face illuminates your mouth, a light shines through, your eyes shine this bright red, every fissure in your body shines this bright red as and this massive explosion of just raw, chaotic, arcane power envelops the entire area, diffusing the smoke, engulfing even the flames, and leaving nothing of this shadowy figure, as then the smoke around you reforms. And now, you're on this grand balcony. There's a crowd below. They're cheering for the hero that just saved everyone. To your left, you see that same sneering figure, that same leering smile, proud. Behind you, you see, or not so much see but feel, the presence of your friends. They're all there to accompany the hero that saved the world. And in front of you, Bartil. And you see she's holding a medal, a golden medal for a golden hero.
For a golden girl.
For a golden girl. And you drop to a knee. She places it over your head. And as she does, you notice the landscape change as you hear not the cheers of a crowd, of a roaring crowd, but you hear the screams of agony and the calls of an army saluting the warrior of green. As you stand, Bartil is no longer standing, but on both of her knees in front of you. The fissures have all but encapsulated your entire arm. You can feel them. They just exude pain, but it's a pain that you can bite down on and draw even more raw power from. You're encompassed in this almost black armor with these bony protrusions that spine from it. You can feel this scar running down your face as it almost feels like your entire physical being has cracked from within, and you see that same green stony wall, but not entire. Half of it, shattered, collapsed to the ground. And you hear a familiar voice behind you, of Omaru, of Pip, of Riley. And as you turn, their weapons are drawn. Omaru, arrow locked on you. You see Pip with his artifact, battle ready. And Riley, full parasite form, full monstrosity, but under control, with you as her target. And you can hear the screams of agony in the distance, the raging fire of the city desolated by the one most powerful woman in all of Galvera. Isthmus Fortiscant. What do you do?
Damn, I was really enjoying that for a little bit. I look at my friends. And I just start laughing. Like, oh, so only until it doesn't work for you, huh? Then I guess you weren't my friends at all.
Bow draws a little more.
Go ahead.
Riley rears a little bit more.
Take your best shot. I hope it's a good one.
As you say that, the smoke dissipates. And your friends lie dead on the ground in front of you. Bartil, dead on the ground behind you. Your mother, this shadowy figure that's been looming behind you this entire time, slumped over the railing with nothing but the cheers of a grand army behind you, saying one word: Isthmus. 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 And from there, we're actually gonna go to break. So come back in 10 minutes, see what happens next. We have Riley up next.
Because my legs aren't working. So.
It's okay, you can take a bit of time.
Just got a second.
Welcome back, everyone. Had a few spicy little dreamscapes there. But just a little bit as a recap. So we went through Pip's, and Pip went through this kind of like this forest landscape, ended up in this giant tree, and then had to choose between either his father, him, or his family, friends. Now, he ended up choosing his father and then kind of isolated himself, and that's where that ended. Until we moved to Omaru. Omaru found himself in kind of like a room with books and with everything he could ever want, but something was leading him elsewhere. And as he goes down this road, following back through Polefimo and maybe even into somewhere else, he finds himself at the midst of a tower, fighting with his friends and seeing another side of him that he's never really known, until he looks into the face of true horror and then into the face of a true friend. But then we move to Isthmus, who her whole life has been doing this same dance over and over again, listening, not being able to really grasp and get over these obstacles until she grabs at this power to finally get over these obstacles, running through each scenario until finally that last scenario of she's gotten everything she wanted. Or has she? And now we move to Riley. So, Riley.
I wake up.
Riley, you stand at the bow of a ship, looking over the vast sea in front of you. The sun is beating down on you as the mist batters your face. The birds above dance and flit about, keeping speed with the Fable Seeker. You can hear the crew behind you. They're being raucous and just crazy as usual. You can hear some of them betting on dice and card games. You can hear some of them like kind of tussling with each other, fighting. You can hear some of them maybe working hard. And then you can hear the cries and yells of the captain at the wheel of the ship, steering, chest and head held high. As the sun beats down on him, he's got this kind of large captain's cap with this blue bandana that is kind of keeping the sea mist and the sweat and foam kind of out of his face, right? And you hear him whistle. The crowd, or the crew, immediately comes to attention. They all salute. And he tells them something. You can't really hear what he tells them, but they all go to work, hoisting the sails and getting ready for a travel at full speed. And his mouth opens, his lips move, but you don't hear words come from them. But you know what he said. And he points to his side. What do you do?
I go to his side.
Okay. You go to take a step and you just appear. You're just there at his side. And as he has one hand on the wheel, he pulls you in closer into kind of like just a gentle embrace. And the new recruits are promising. They listen well and work well on the ship. That one, the Tergiborn, good muscle, good find. The other two are great at navigating as well. Yep, good find, Riley. You always had a good head on your shoulders. Well, what do you think? Back out on the sea, the mist blowing in your face. I missed these days. Don't you?
Yeah.
Well, pats you on the back. Go ahead. Take command of the crew. If this goes the way it did last time, they're still gonna need a captain. And you see, as he kind of ushers you forth, a massive swirling black storm of clouds rising into the sky. You can hear off in the distance the thunder. And then the captain lets out a sigh and just looks at you.
The black clouds, I'm assuming, look very much like the storm we encountered.
Exactly.
Oh, great.
Exactly as
Okay.
you remember it.
I think this time, Riley, is it a section in front of us, or is it like all across the horizon?
It is just a section.
Okay.
You could veer left, you could veer right. It would have to be a one hard turn because, as you remember, this storm is massive.
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna let me do this. I want to cast haste on the ship to let us go to the right, like hard turn the right and like book it, so we try to beat this storm.
Okay, so you just cast it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's cool as fuck.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
You place your hand on the deck of the ship, and this kind of like black, misty, almost like purple aura, this blue aura, I guess, kind of ripples over, and the ship crashes through the waves, but you never turn. The captain is dead set. They're going forth. And directly through.
Yeah.
It's like you never even went through the storm. You see above you the sunlight beating down. Everything is calm. You're in the heart of the storm. You've almost skipped over the wrath that the storm brought. And you see all of the crew kind of looking up and around. And a younger crewmate comes up to you. Well, it's pretty. Never thought something so rugged on the outside could have such a pretty interior.
What are you talking about?
The storm. I mean, just look at it. Never mind. You're no fun. And Blake walks away.
This fucking guy. Okay, he can walk away, that little turd. Okay.
And you can still see kind of the rest of the crew gawking up at the calm that is after the storm.
I want to look to the horizon and see if I can see anything that's coming up, any abnormalities as far as like the waves go, anything like that.
The waves beat against the side of the ship And the storm just seems to just kind of vortex in one singular space.
So are we in the eye of the storm, or are we fully past the
You're
storm?
in the eye of the storm.
Oh,
The
that's
storm
not
is
where I wanted
currently
to be. Okay,
circulating
yep,
around. Of
yep.
course it's not. And while the waves beat at the side of the ship, kind of circling around, the ship never moves. It just stays dead center. And the captain comes up to you. Well, we haven't made it past the worst part yet, have we? But we can at least take time. Time for ourselves in the calm of the storm.
What if we just dropped anchor here for a bit?
I don't think we're going anywhere, regardless. But if that's what you want to do. Set anchor! Everybody drop! You start hearing the of the chain dropping as the splash into the water. And you can still hear the chain going as the anchor goes to the bottom. The captain starts to kind of walk around the ship and is just patting people on the shoulder and just kind of looking at them and nodding. And as they all get this kind of like delightful greeting from the captain, they all immediately just turn to look to you and then go about their business.
Okay. I think Riley is so like like what the fuck is going on? And also trying to remember like what happened, all the details from the original encounter and what she can do to try to not have it happen again. And I think she's going to go up to the captain where he is and just be like, you know, I think I've got it from here, Captain. You should, you know, it's calm now. I think you should take some rest in your quarters downstairs.
With what's to come, you're gonna need my help, Riley. And as he says that, you hear, hey, everybody! And Edmund runs over to the side of the ship and looks over. Not too familiar with storms, but is the water supposed to be bubbling?
No, fuck. Okay, lift anchor. And I get him to lift the anchor, and I just try to book us out of here.
Okay, and the anchor starts to much slower than it descended.
Yeah.
And the captain looks up and, there it is. Riley, you'll do a good job. I have faith in you.
What are we facing?
And 6 large tentacles rise from the depths as you see the rest of the crew pull swords and pull bows and crossbows, and you see your party members pull their weapons as well.
Where did they come from?
They've been on the ship. Those are the new party members.
Oh! Oh! I get it. The
There you go.
navigation Tergy board.
But As you see these tentacles rise, you see them wrap around the actual ship itself. And you see Isthmus run up, launch, and stab it with her lance. And it releases as Omaru launches an arrow. And Pip kind of blows a little bit of like this golden dust over the arrow as it's flying, and it flies even faster straight through the tentacle of the actual beast, and it slinks back down into the water. And then you see the captain walk straight up to you, pull both of his swords. Well, you've got some fancy new tricks now. Let's do this. Show him why you're called Wily Riley. And he leaps straight towards the tentacle. What do?
I Eldritch Blast.
You Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
As he cuts straight down on one of these tentacles, you blast both of these Eldritch Blasts straight into the actual wound, and you blast off the top of this tentacle. He goes yet again and slashes at the bottom of this tentacle. What else do you do?
I want to parasitic blade and like chop these tentacles off.
Okay, you run and you just kind of X-cross this tentacle that's coming straight at you, and then right behind you this tentacle sweeping across the entirety of the deck, and you see all of your party members jump straight over it. Some of the crew are getting swept underneath it. What are you doing?
I jump and I think I almost like a gymnastics vault. I want to like jump over it, but like do it so in that I'm upside down with my like blade sticking down, so I like try to like cut into it as I leap over.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You like run fast as it's sweeping towards you, and you kind of do this like flip, and as you are kind of like head down, these blades sweep across it, and you see that the kind of tentacle sweeps over, but now has this massive gash in the middle, kind of tearing it apart as it's kind of flopping instead of sweeping now. And you see the captain, as you slice the top, he slices the bottom, and it starts to roll straight into the ship.
So we've gotten rid of 3 tentacles.
Got rid
out
of
of
3
6.
tentacles, and you see 3 more rise out of the water
Okay.
as they start to wrap around,
Uh-huh.
and then you see the head start to rise out of the water. That gaping maw as you saw before. And Captain John Parker turns to you. All right, it's my time.
I grab him and I like throw him down as I Eldritch Blast
Make a
into the
strength
maw. Okay. We're gonna have me roll strength.
Athletics.
Nothing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
22.
Okay. You, as he runs, you have just such a determination about you that you just grab him and just yank him straight back. As he kind of stumbles back, you launch an Eldritch Blast at this thing, and it explodes. You see a tooth from this like giant maw slam down into the actual kind of bow of the ship. It's still there though. Riley, I have to do this.
Why you?
Who else?
Fucking me. And I run. I am still in blades, and like how I saw him do it, the first time, I am going to like blades first, jump into the maw.
Okay. You blades first, and he sheaths his swords, and he just stands there and watches as you launch yourself down, and as the maw crushes around you. Now it's dark.
I want to cut his little uvula.
And as you do, and this maw crushes down, your tendrils begin to sprout and then wrap around you. And there's almost like this compiled energy as you shake and tremor, and then your tendrils launch out, and you see from the outside tendrils just like spines, spikes protruding from the outside of this thing, and then just rip this thing in half, dropping the mouth, the head of this giant sea leviathan. You reach for the bow of the ship and pull yourself back on with your tendrils, and they slink back. You succeeded in killing this thing. You're on the bow of the ship. But now the storm starts to close in around you. The top, where the sunlight shines down, begins to get a little darker as it begins to close and encapsulate you in just this swirling vortex. You hear the lightning and the thunder around you. The sea begins to quiver and quake and become angry on the inside. No more calm. And the rest of the crew begins to slowly walk towards you. Up the stairs of the Fable Seeker onto the bow of the ship. Your party and your captain. They all start to walk. And as they all get to the bow of the ship, one by one, they begin to sprout these tendrils, grow these teeth. Some of them have this black mist, some have this red mist, some grow these bony protrusions. You see, Isthmus grows this bony lance that is on the side of her forearm that comes out and is grafted to her with these kind of just rock-like protrusions. You see Omaru with their tendrils coming around, forming this large, great bow of just electricity and almost just like, not slime, but just tendrils, and pull back with this great bow. You see Pip walking up with the tendrils all in front of them, all four of them, making this almost like tendril cage with the artifact.
Furry?
Or just because that's nightmare fuel, fuck yeah.
Okay.
But making this kind of like tendril cage with the artifact kind of swirling within. No longer this bright, brilliant golden color, but this deep, dark purple hue. Malice radiating from all of them. And the rest of the crew sprouting just the same things. As you see two more tendrils from the deck of the ship rise up as Captain John Parker lands in front and starts to walk towards you, drawing his swords once again to his sides, and the tendrils each start to sprout those same type of scimitar, but more as growths, not as weapons. And all of them are looking at you, hungry. Riley, what do you do?
I'm on the bow.
You're on the bow of the ship.
I want to, like, I think I'm backing up, and I'm like, you know, the bow, like, I'm literally on the nose, the bow of the, like, yeah.
Okay. You are on just kind of like the figurehead of the actual ship.
Yeah.
And as you keep backing up, you've gotten to the end, and they are all surrounding as Captain John Parker begins to also walk up this slim, kind of front figurehead to approach you. Swords at the side, all tendrils pointed directly at you.
What the fuck?
Don't say a word.
Did you know what was going to happen to me the first time?
He smiles this toothy grin. All of his teeth are razor sharp with rows like sharks. And as he opens his mouth, this kind of just red smoke billows like mist from his mouth. As he leaps towards you and goes to attack you, Riley, what do you do?
I jump off the bow.
You jump off the bow. As you jump off the bow, you see there are larger tentacles that are sprouting up. These are 10 times the size of what you just faced. And they're not this squid-like essence. It's more of this black, oily, slick. And they wrap around the top of the ship, capsizing it. And as you sink down, you try to swim, try to get up, but you can't. You just keep sinking further and further and further until as you are now lying at the bottom of the ocean, you gain control of your body. You can move. There's no paralysis anymore. And as you stand, these lights seem to appear along this kind of path. These of almost like not sea creatures, but like coral. Almost like runway lights, if you can picture that.
Can I breathe underwater?
Weirdly enough, you're not having any trouble.
Okay, I'm just full in the Black Lake in Twilight Tournament 2. Okay. And can I see anything else down here with me? Is it just the lights?
As you look around, you see more of these large creatures just kind of swim by, but paying no mind to you. Going to the surface, and as you look up, it's far up. As you're at the bottom of this sea, of this ocean, you can still tell the top is littered with blood and debris.
I think because I know everyone who was up there was not like something, like it's not right. They're not right in the sense of like something is it's that feeling of like body snatchers. Like these are not
Okay.
these are not good. These are the changelings. Like this is not who my peeps are. So I think knowing that and looking up, knowing like if I go and try to save any of them, I'm not actually saving the people. Like they aren't. I'd be saving, for lack of a better word, the changelings, not the my friends, my family. The lights. Do I feel anything? Is there like a pull or anything with the lights?
There is.
I think, yeah, I
You
start.
feel a pull directly from your chest.
Yeah.
almost kind of grasping onto you and tugging you forth.
I think with one final look at like the debris above, Riley like takes like a breath and almost in a weird way like a goodbye, but not, but like a letting go, but knowing that what she's letting go of isn't real. Like this is not what's up there again is not right. It's not real. It's she heads towards the lights.
Okay. As you head further in towards the lights, you pass a body. And it's old. There's crustaceans and like kind of sea life and sea kind of like not coral, but you know, like sea rust all over them. Skeletized in familiar crew attire. And you pass another familiar body, not really of skin, but of this kind of rocky formations of kind of these dull, veiny bloodstone, but withered and very corroded. You pass another figure, a slender, although I guess you wouldn't know because it's just a skeleton. And most of these are semi-buried in the sand, and you see it's latching onto the skeleton of this small draconic figure that has a lot of its kind of bones shattered and broken, but you can tell. You walk forth and another one, a small mammal-like creature, long tail protruding, and has this watch on the wrist that is reaching up and seems to have been kind of stuck up into the air as it's buried into the sand. And you see more and more of this, all leading across the path, some even on the path that you're having to step over or even through. But as you get to the end of the path, you come across a large trench, deep, dark, and something is beckoning to you.
I want to double check.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to kick myself for asking this, but I need to know. I did not see any canine debris.
You didn't.
Okay, thank God. I was gonna be like, oh, Riley would literally kill herself. Okay. Great. Whiskey is still safe. Okay. Okay. Trench, and what did you say?
You see this really deep, dark trench, and you can feel the pull coming from the very, very bottom. And it seems like an endless void of a trench. But you can see the mist start to kind of rise and form into these same kind of black, inky tendrils. This time, not just 1, 2, 10, 15, but hundreds.
I think there is this like feeling of just kind of like, fuck it. Like, the world above wasn't correct. Down here, it's littered with people she has come to care about and has cared about. And I think for Riley, it's this feeling of, what I have nothing. And what can happen to me now? What is the worst that can happen to me now? And she just kind of, I think she turns around towards the edge and just goes, fuck it, and like falls back into the void.
And as you fall back into the void, you fall onto something. Solid surface. And as you look behind you, a massive entity with 4 scrawling arms made of almost like these protrusions and tentacles and arms that are outstretched towards you of a torso with this kind of crescent head.
Tentacle
And
daddy.
this massive, you're the worst. And just this crescent head with this gaping maw right down the middle. And these 4 arms that kind of come out, but one of them larger than any city that you've seen. You rest in the center of its palm.
Okay.
And you can tell it's staring down at you. It's waiting.
Sup, tentacle daddy?
And you see hearts. See 10 of them start to form around you. They all start to kind of meld and mesh into this kind of fleshy, just amalgamation of one giant heart. And then it just rises directly in front of you.
I'm gonna have to eat 10 hearts, aren't I? I've already done that one, so 9 hearts. I
Right?
didn't think I was gonna have to take notes, yeah.
What do you do?
So it's a gigantic heart now?
It is a heart that's about this big.
Okay. I slowly stand up on his paw, tentacle, and I look at him, and I just go, or them, tentacle
It?
dad. I look at tentacle daddy,
Okay.
and I just go, fly me.
He holds out a second hand. And in the palm, you see there's a pile of just dead corpses. All with the same tentacle or tendril formations that you have come to know very well. Just dead in a pile. As it unfurls its hand.
Yeah, that wasn't really an answer.
And the heart still looms before you.
Is this, what, early Valentine's Day? Okay. And I think Riley just has this gut feeling, and she goes, "You're gonna make me eat it, aren't you?" Fine, you fucker. And she takes out one of her daggers and starts to, like, cut a little piece, like, cuts a piece of the heart and, like, stabs it with a dagger and, like, eats it.
Okay? And as you start to eat the heart, the whole thing just dissolves and envelops you in this black mist. The pile of bodies falls as it forms its hand like this,
They fall, like, off to the wayside or on top of me?
off to the wayside.
Okay.
And then you see 2 more hands, one on each side, as all 4 of them close around you, bring you to its chest. And as you see all of the arms that actually make up the torso of whatever this thing is start to grab at you over your shoulder,
This is also giving Labyrinth.
and they bring you into whatever this is. You see the massive heart of this thing. And as it beats, yours beats the same. At the same exact time. You can hear it reverberating throughout this chamber, this fleshy, oily black chamber. And as you do, not staring at the heart anymore, but you're staring at where you were just standing, or kind of just the space you were in.
Okay.
Now, strung up with these tendrils, now where the heart was, still.
And I can't move.
And you can see everything. Everything that this entity could see. It seems that you've taken over or become, or you don't know.
I want to see how it got in me.
And as you do,
If this is where I fucking wake up, Tanner.
you wake up.
No, are you fucking serious? You
100%.
little bitch!
Can I have all the rest of our cast go ahead and come in?
Fucking cock tease.
Alright.
I guess I should open the door.
Yeah. Nice. I thought her thing was pretty scary too, yeah.
We weren't sure.
Happy Halloween.
Oh my god.
And then I was trying to whisper the door. I was like, do you want everyone? Can we come back? And then you just open the door.
This will be Halloween.
It's so bright.
Guys, this is weird. Everyone get out.
Oh, you got a taste?
Yeah, I got a taste.
You got a taste of being
I
alone
had
at the
Tanner
table?
all to my own.
I had the table to my own.
Yeah.
But as you all wake up at the same time, jolted awake, you see Riley. You're kind of splayed out over the couch.
Yeah.
Omaru, you
Accurate.
found like a nice little place in kind of the corner of the
Yep.
room
Sounds
that you're
right.
just kind of leaning against.
Mhm.
Isthmus,
I'm asleep in a chair.
you're sitting straight up like this.
Straight up, just like,
And I'm like curled
I'm
up
on
next,
my armor.
and I'm definitely like curled up in a little ball with my tail next to any heat source.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like right next to the stove.
Absolutely.
And as you all wake up, the house is empty. The hovel is empty.
Empty?
Completely empty.
No.
Furniture, like,
No furniture except for what you have slept on. The stove that you were asleep by is gone. Grammy Melanie is nowhere in sight. But the door is wide open.
First thing I do, panic, and I go to my bag and I find the artifact.
Artifact is there.
I wake up, and the first thing I do is walk to the door to see if it leads outside.
And you see it leads out to the same dark, dense room that you were in, that you entered into the Temple of Dolus Gran.
Oh, and you probably see Pip hyperventilating this whole time, like as soon as I woke up.
Riley's gonna try to go back to sleep.
You do.
I think she just puts a hand on it.
You close your eyes. You can't.
Just come on, the tentacle daddy.
Sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry. What?
I had a really informative maybe dream, and I just need to go back there.
She's 17.
But Riley, you keep these dreams to yourself when that.
No, this is good. You should talk about it,
No,
right?
no, it's like
What?
no.
I don't know what I just said. What did I just say?
I need you to. I'm not going to talk to a 16-year-old about their.
First of all,
A weird
I'm
spicy
17.
dreams.
I'm 17, and it wasn't like sexual.
Okay.
It was.
You woke up and said tentacle daddy. That was the first thing you said.
Well, like tentacle daddy, there's shadow daddy. You know.
There are multiple daddies.
So you admit you named your shadow daddy. Glad we got that cleared.
Did I?
No.
Or am I just using what you use?
What about shadow daddy? I mean, what about tentacle daddy?
Did you all have any weird dreams?
No.
Yeah, kinda.
Still hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Hey, Pip. It's okay.
I go over to Whiskey and I just go, can you go cuddle Pip a little bit? And Whiskey goes and tries to
Well,
look.
Whiskey's
I'm
not
like,
there.
What?
Oh my
Tanner. This is tears. These are
No,
tears.
Whiskey's not there.
I start calling for Whiskey.
You call, you wait, nothing. You call, you wait again.
I run outside and like call for Whiskey.
The moment you run outside, the hovel disappears.
fall off
With
the chair.
them still in it.
You all fall to either your knees, onto your rear, somewhere.
If that
Okay.
old hag took my dog, I am going to skin her alive.
And those are the
hey.
least of your problems, as you're not just in darkness, but you're on almost like a vacant axis of nothing but stars and cosmos everywhere, below, above, all around. You hear nothing. You smell nothing. You feel nothing.
We didn't wake up.
And you only see an endless space. You really are crying.
I know, I told you. If anything happens to that dog, Riley will fucking
Nothing
lose it.
happens with them. They're just gone.
Hey, well done.
But you see only the endless space that you've been cast to. And you're all lying in this mid-space where the hovel used to be, still is, you don't know. This
What are we
space
standing on?
Does it
nothing.
Amaru,
Almost-
pinch me.
does it look like the same
Did that do
1
anything?
point of damage.
does it look like the same void that my father and my family and Riley and Izzy and Omaru fell into previously in my vision or dream or
No,
whatever?
this almost seems like extra planar. It seems outside of what reality tends to hold.
Okay,
And-
so I think that old lady is not just an old lady, obviously.
No,
Um,
clearly not.
I'm sorry, I lied before. I did have a really weird dream, but
Maybe
I
we're-
think you're right. We haven't woken up.
Yeah, I think we're still in a dream. You know how sometimes you dream and you think you wake up and then you keep dreaming? I think that's this.
But why are we
Yeah.
all like?
How do I know you're all real?
Yeah, whose dream is this?
Whose dream is this?
And then, as the sky
It just makes no sense.
the sky begins to kind of brighten, or I guess what you could call the sky, but the endless expanse of stars and cosmos begin
Like
to
a
almost
nebula.
illuminate a little as you hear a voice. It rings out from light years away, but is still present as if right next to you. You've dreamt within the confines of the Temple of Grand Dreams and looked upon premonitions, strands of fate in the making, a story unfolding, constructing itself and adding to the great pattern of existence. You all have great stories to tell, some heroic, some cataclysmic, but all torrential and chaotic with heavy burden to your very souls. This is the path that has been laid for you. Fate has spoken, evidently.
What if we want a different path?
That, not impossible, And you see a large feline creature with wings, grand, of straight crystal or gem, walk out of the ether, seemingly invisible until it decided to show itself. It's covered and composed of these gems, and they run along a sleek, dark, purple coat of fur with silver hair that drapes over its shoulders. Horns protrude from the center of its head, sleeking through this silver hair with a golden crested crown upon its head. And you see, as you look into its large eyes, galaxies of stars. And the tail that is wagging lightly behind it, a flame atop it, swirling, has a spiral of broken and shattered planets and moons, all revolving around a gravitational void. And they walk slowly towards you all, looking at you all. The presence is immense. It's gravitational and nonetheless awe-inspiring and absolutely beautiful.
Is this the Heaviside Lair?
What?
Who's making a cat's joke?
That's a deep cut.
That's a really deep cut. Some old Deuteronomy.
What did you dream about?
We're all fairly disappointed. You believe you can sway the very story and making of your own fate?
I think two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by.
Are you quoting poetry right now?
I'm so sorry.
What is happening?
Are you crying?
You took whiskey away, and
Just
now
put
I'm
whiskey in the
sad.
scene, Tanner.
Sorry, did I say you aren't a dog?
Whiskey. Whiskey's a god. We've said this before.
No.
Whiskey's an old god.
No.
Oh my god. Alright, let's bring it back.
Yeah,
Let's bring it back.
Can we change these things?
Well,
Are you saying it's just gonna happen?
to change one's fate is a grandiose feat, but not impossible. A strong will, a great resolve is needed to change one's fate. If even a little, for even the greater beings of Elysia can barely grasp onto that power. Now, she steps a little closer. What say ye all?
You showed me that I had a choice.
We all have a choice.
Did I? Did I really?
What if we don't like the choice we made?
Fate is a grand intertwining web that fits into the grand pattern. If you do not like the choices you made, the outcome that has been shown to you in these grand premonitions, if you do not like what fate has in store for you, then change it.
Excuse me.
Grasp at the power that not even gods can hold, and wield it.
She's saying important things.
Mine wasn't a premonition. My dream was more of a flashback, like a weird do-over.
Premonitions can take all forms, shapes. Maybe yours was to show you something that only the grand designer may know.
Okay. if that is the case, he did kind of, I asked, some information, and then he just kind of, abruptly ended it, so I didn't really get, the answer I was looking for.
That can mean a many different a thing. And at this point, they are circling. And just kind of slowly jaunting around you a little. And taking in who and what you are. These dreams, they hold fate, but not always conceal or reveal what is to come. Only small droplets in a large ocean that is yet to be traveled upon. Maybe even fate has not decided what is to come. But fate looks out far, far beyond what that of a mortal can comprehend.
What do you want from us?
Me? I want a grand story. You all hold the potential to wield and create, to craft your own story. And I desire, looking upon these fates, it intrigues one as one who glimpses upon the cosmos and sees all. But I cannot see into the grand design fate has.
You didn't get it the first time, so you're trying again.
What?
No, I understand. I understand, I get it. It happens over and over again. It might not be yours, it might be someone else. But this is a chance to tell a different story.
Astute.
That's why the roots were always getting bigger and larger. It gets worse every time, doesn't it?
Perhaps. Again, I am not one to tell of fate, as fate is a much grander vision than even I can comprehend. But from my experience, changing your fate is not always the best outcome. Again, a grand resolve, a great will, and mass power. It's the only way you can change your fate.
Who are you?
And follow-up. Why did you show us these?
You may call me Melanus.
Oh, hey, it's Granny.
Oh, Gma.
Sorry, that just wasn't
I prefer Melanus.
Melanus. It's a pretty name. Why did you show us these things? I just feel it's going to be harder to avoid now that
we know.
Now that we know. How do I know I'm not... Oh, gosh. This is like... They taught this in school.
They did.
It's like, did you make the choice because you knew? Or did you...
No, because you made the
No,
choice.
because you made the choice. Does that work? Omaru, explain it.
It's a dragon and egg scenario, so it's really just like which one came first. We don't really know, so a lot of theories would say that they happen at the exact same time.
Yeah, like how do I change something, and how do I know that if I'm changing something, it's not actually making it happen? Why did you do this? Why did you... I could have done without this. I feel like I didn't like what I saw.
I did nothing. You all had your own dreams, slept in the temple of Dolus Gran. I merely just led you here and let you choose, as fate would have it. I have no control in what transpires within the temple, lest the world, lest the cosmos, lest this reality. But
But you do watch.
I do watch. And I do enjoy a good story.
What have you not liked about past stories?
Some are uneventful. Some sheerly just bore one such as I. Some are too grandiose for their own good, for their own complexity. They can't measure up to what they are trying to tell. But some few individuals hold a great lore, hold a great journey. That's just what fate picks for them.
What does the Opal Queen have to say about that?
The Opal Queen. I haven't talked to her in a while. But I couldn't tell you.
Are you saying that we can change these things? Or we cannot change these things?
That, my child, she's finished rounding for the third time, is completely and utterly up to you. She begins to recede back into the ether of which she came, slowly disappearing. Now, if you wish, show me you have the resolve, the power to change your own fate. As she disappears, and you all appear back inside.
Is there furniture and shit?
There is furniture.
Do I
Whiskey
see
there?
whiskey? Do I see whiskey?
Just note she did ask about the furniture first.
Because that was going to be the clue.
I'm just saying.
Whether or not, if
saying that was a choice.
I saw things back, I was like, okay, I can calm down. I didn't want to ask first and
saying.
then be very disappointed.
As you look around the room, you don't see whiskey until he runs out.
That's not funny!
It's a little fun.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
Each time I just get closer
This is a
to
nervous
like
laughter because I
stabbing.
know Nicole is going to kill Tanner if that happens. So it's like, stop, she's gonna kill you. She's gonna kill you.
But you see whiskey run out of Grammy Melanie's room, and start to kind of.
Why were you with that mean old lady?
And Grammy Melanie, you see, is at the stovetop. I hope you're not talking about me.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Hey, she's not mean. She's not mean. She didn't cause those things. You need to stop being mean to the people who are literally taking care of us. And I'm not like, take Gabe out of it. I'm not even there. We're in her house still.
I made you some tea.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
What
That's
kind?
so nice.
Oh, well, of course. You all looked like you were exhausted before you rested, and I figured, waking up to a good kettle of tea, I made it in a pan.
What
It's
kind of
more,
pan?
It's more
Saucepan?
effective that way.
Was it a saucepan or was it a pot?
Oh,
Let me see it. Can I just look at your cooking setup?
It's about this deep and it's got a pan.
Okay. How did you get the water out? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Do I see a burn hand on there?
I take out my chalk, and as I just start drawing directly on the wooden floor, the
Let him cook.
because I don't have it. It's only in my mind. I just start drawing the pattern that appeared over and over and over again
Oh, the
in
surging.
the forest. The surging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it all out before it leaves, because that is the key.
Pip.
That's the circle.
Sorry, Pip.
That's the key.
Pip, don't you have a notebook?
Yeah.
Do you have a do you have a piece of paper?
Please,
Can we get a piece of paper?
Sure.
Can we get a piece of paper? Sorry, no. We're gonna.
No, it's okay. I understand. A lot
Hey,
of people
Pip,
who come
Pip,
to visit me
let's get a piece of
have
paper.
traumatic
I
experiences, and I don't
replaced your.
understand.
Sure, just
A
right
lot?
over where I'm drawing.
Slide it under.
But I know Gabe was inquiring about. Anyways, can you please not draw on my floor?
Absolutely not. Hey, huddle up. Where did our manners go? Let's.
I'm
Why are you looking at
confused.
me?
Is she still the cat lady?
No.
That was a dream. That was the.
Is the cat lady inside the grandma?
No.
I
right?
don't think it's our business. I think this person here has been nothing but hospitable. And let's just continue in the same energy that we had last night at that lovely dinner. By the way, you still have some mashed potatoes on your shirt.
I never got an answer. Do you want the tea?
Yes,
Please.
please. Thank you so
Okay.
much. I'll take it from you.
Oh, I'd have it, dearie. And
Oh,
she goes around and pours each one of you from the pan.
Do you
Please
have
be
any
careful.
morning
Please be
whiskey?
I'm sorry, I don't drink too much. It doesn't really befit my stomach. And brings you all little teacups.
And I take it as I'm still, I guess now on the paper,
Yes,
just
please.
trying to break down the math, right, of what's going on here.
I think Riley's still a little. She's weary. She's like, I don't know if this is poison. I don't know if the food we ate caused us to have weird dreams. Riley's just gonna sit the tea on the whatever coffee table or whatever that's around.
Riley, what conversation did we have about trust yesterday?
I'm just not thirsty.
Okay.
All right, it's very good.
It's very good tea.
It's like nettle and mint, lavender.
Oh,
I'm
see,
getting
I
the
don't
lavender.
really like
The
mint.
lavender.
That's it. I'm not
Actually, I don't
a
think
fan
yours
of
has
it.
mint.
It was part of the same pot.
It was a garnish on ours.
Well, I don't want to take my chances.
Oh, you're allergic to mint?
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Well, I was watching.
We'll have to
over
ask
you.
everywhere we go before we eat if there's any mint in anything.
Yeah.
Just Riley's allergic.
Well, I was busy making sure that everything was tidy and watching over you to make sure you were okay. So I did not get much sleep. But I'm going to retire to my
Go
room.
to sleep. Oh my goodness. Please get some rest. Actually, we're gonna leave, I think.
You've done so much for
we
us.
do not want to overstay our welcome.
Oh, no,
I think
no
it's
problem
time
at
for
all.
us to leave your one bedroom house
In a temple.
in a temple.
Well, thank you for coming and visiting an old granny.
Of course. Sweet dreams.
Thank you. I hope you all had good dreams as well.
We had
And-
dreams.
As she enters the room, and remember, fate is always watching.
Told you she was. Just go though. Can you just guess it's obviously the same person? I didn't say it wasn't the same person. I'm just saying maybe don't fucking call her an evil lady. I don't even think the space lady was. I said me. Okay, she was never me.
Why are you guys whispering?
She's in the next room.
Yeah. But if she is.
Riley just slaps.
If she is.
Now I'm looking.
Now I'm whispering. But if she is, it's already heard this 1,000 times.
Yes, I know. What? I was talking about Riley.
I'm confused.
Look, I think we all. Hey, Pip.
Sorry.
Sorry, can I just get
Sorry.
Can I just Can I just include you in this?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I feel like we're all sorry. I'm used to having insane dreams and quickly bouncing back from them. So
Okay.
it's and we'll unpack that. Like I am whispering a lot. Can we go outside?
Yeah.
Can we just leave? Can we just
let's get out of
everyone
here.
get their stuff? Put your tea down.
I'm gonna finish my tea.
Get your paper.
Yes,
Don't-
Izzy.
Okay. I look at Omaru. I'm like, something is horribly wrong with it. I think I messaged that to you, like, you check out, Pip, because something is fucking wrong.
I messaged back to you like, yeah, I've never seen Riley turn down a drink. This is
I wasn't alcoholic.
And as you all walk out of Grammy Millennie's hovel, you all appear just outside of the temple.
Okay. Wasn't it like a longer walk?
yeah.
I'm not gonna question it. I'm not gonna look. Obviously that temple showed us things in our dreams. I personally know what I saw. I don't know what you guys saw. Bad. So
Bad.
well, I guess not too bad. It was a mix. It was a
Okay.
mix.
Okay.
It was a mix.
All
We'll
right.
get into that later.
Oh,
What did it show you?
I want to do a quick question.
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice. It just showed you what happened.
No, I had a choice, I think. I don't... I definitely
but
made
you were on a
choi-
path.
Yes.
Were you on a path? Were you on a path?
It started off as a weird flashback, but y'all were there.
Flashback.
But you were
when?
put into a space and time where you had
Multiple.
no agency of where you were.
Oh, no.
Uh,
Of where I was? You mean like... I basically went into different moments in time, it felt like, and I just kept going through these different moments. And some of them were flashbacks, like things that have happened, and then it went past where we are now.
I went back to the day of the shipwreck. Except this time, we killed the sea monster, which was cool. I actually
That's
dove
good.
in and
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's
good.
rad.
yeah.
Maybe that is the future. Maybe go
well,
back and...
well, then it got really weird because that happened, and then everyone, you had furry tentacles, and
Ugh.
and the captain had a tentacle. Like it was everyone.
We all had tentacles?
Yeah.
I had tentacles?
You had like a weird lance tentacle.
What about me?
Omaru had
oh,
tentacles?
lightning.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank God.
Yeah, no maps.
Map.
Just unravel.
North, east, west, south.
It's just a compass rose, baby.
That's still
But
pretty
everyone and had them, and then I jumped overboard, and then I was down in the bottom of the ocean, and then I could breathe underwater, and I went down. I did go down a path. There were lights and a path, and but then I saw like everyone's like skeletal remains on the floor, but it looked old, like you had been down there for like years, and then I met Tentacle Daddy, but he didn't really talk, and did not give me any answers to any of my questions, so I don't know what any of it means. Maybe.
And were you on a path as well?
Yeah, what happened in yours?
I was very much on a path. There was a lot of opportunities where I really didn't feel like I had a choice. I was walked through a couple of moments, almost forced out of necessity through doors. And I saw something enormous. And we were all there, which I'm assuming is a through line of this story that this person's watching, is that it is about us.
I roll out the parchment that
What
I
did
had.
you see that was big?
Oh, it was weird. It was the chasm, and there were a bunch of dragons fighting, which is wild because all the books say that they don't normally do that, which is wild. But first that was happening, and then it would flash back between a fight that all of us were in, and we were fighting Calix's dragon. I think it was Calix's dragon. And then that would flash back, and then I saw this thing that was larger than any mountain we've ever seen in our
What did it look
lives. Large, scaled bones almost protruding out of it. That's like spines that would line its entire back.
Did it say anything to you? Did he talk to you?
No, it bellowed and roared, and then in a moment it was gone. And then only you were there, Izzy. But
He didn't say anything.
is it a he? I don't know.
I mean,
It didn't say anything to me that
it looked like a
hear.
huge dragon with bones and spikes coming out of it.
Yes. What happened in yours? Did that also happen in yours? The same thing?
No, that's what's been in all my other dreams. The first time I didn't dream about him was this one, which is wild, but that has been in every single dream I've had for maybe the past
How peculiar.
2 years, it feels like.
And it speaks to you.
Yeah. It gives me powers.
It gives you powers.
Yeah. That's why I can stay up even after I've been hit really hard, or that's why I can, that's how I got out of the sandworm, was using that power. Yeah, that's, I think, what Gabe was talking about when I had an awakening, whatever this thing was. He keeps telling me to shatter.
But that didn't happen in your dream just now.
No.
What happened in your dream just now?
Oh.
Well, how is it different? Was it the same thing, but they were just removed?
Uh,
I'm writing this down.
Oh, okay. No, it was not the same. Like I said, it was moments in time that were kind of just snapshots and all of it. Okay. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
Take your
just
time.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So it definitely started out with my mom. My mom was there a lot.
Okay, yeah.
She was a central figure, and then
Okay. Lots of...
okay, you don't have to narrate
Okay,
while you
sorry,
write.
sorry.
It's kind of throwing me off.
Huh?
You didn't write down anyone else's.
I'll get to them.
Okay. So I
Lots
moved.
of tentacles.
Tentacle daddy
Tentacle
is really important.
Daddy? D-A-D-D-Y?
Did I get that right?
Great.
Okay, so basically it went from my mom to me being, training with Bartil, and then I was on that mission, and I was able to, I just had this power, and I was able to beat everyone that we've been against, and I beat Shadow Daddy. I killed him. I killed Shadow Daddy, and
Shit.
everything was great.
Kills.
Did you become Shadow Mommy?
Calyx.
Kinda, but no shadows. Yeah, I got awarded a medal.
Oh, that's
Cool.
nice.
Yeah, and all y'all were there, and
Oh,
Was that it?
yeah,
Oh.
that's pretty positive. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's-
a
Yeah.
really good dream.
yeah.
Great, fantastic.
Can I make an insight?
positive dream about us being alive.
Yep. What's that?
I know.
Yep.
You roll, but I mean, you're probably gonna beat it. What'd you get?
I'm about to see. I think it's. What'd you get?
I got a 6.
Okay, I beat it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
If anyone else wants to.
I was like, was it a nat one? 'Cause then-
Sure. Insight, please. It's a natural 20.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lying.
Omaru would know.
Amaru would know.
You can hear it in her voice. You know when she would lie to her parents to keep things out of trouble. It's that same kind of quiver in her voice, and you know she's not necessarily lying, but omitting something.
Yeah. I just continue. Kills Calyx. ... It's good. It's really good. What about you, Pimp?
You see Pip. He's put the parchment on the floor that you kind of put underneath him as he was drawing on the wooden floor of the house, and he's pinned it down with like a stone here and like a stray, like his bag on one side, and like I think he's probably taken one of Riley's daggers and like struck it in one side, and then just like
Whiskey sitting.
yeah, whiskey sitting on the other side. And he's added a few things to the side of this, and he's pulled out a different color of chalk, and he's drawing in the center. I did not have the same kind of dream. This is the artifact.
Pip, you're scaring me.
This is the artifact, Izzy. Just listen.
Okay.
This is it.
Squeaky chalk.
It's squeaky chalk. No, it's solved. It's done. It's solved. It's there. And I have access to...
This is solved?
And now I had a chance to change the past. I was, as I understand it, shown many different futures, or past actually, and I had a chance to go back and change it. And this is the answer. It's a circle. And it just keeps happening the same way. And I actually take the artifact out and I put it in the center. And I think that's the answer to solving it all. It's just one continuous circle.
What is solved?
How is that the answer?
It's a pattern.
It's the pattern.
It's the pattern. That's what he said he wanted to get rid of. Shadow Daddy. No, he has a name now. What is his name? Calyx.
Shadow Daddy.
No, Calyx.
It's the pattern,
Calyx.
Omaru.
Shadow Daddy.
No, Calyx.
Shadow Daddy Calyx.
It's just Calyx.
He's trying to break whatever this circle is.
Is that we want to do that, or we? Is Calyx?
The figure told us to break it. The figure told us to break
The
this pattern.
G-Mom Ellie?
Yes.
Okay.
Cat mommy.
Yeah, Mommy.
You know what's shocking is that she doesn't do this to us. She just does it to random people.
What, give like weird
that
nicknames?
help us. Yes.
Yeah.
I think when
Just
it comes
wait.
time,
No.
I think when it comes time to it, then I don't know really what happened in your dreams. I mean, I know what you remember, and that's fine, but I was shown a chance to actually change fate in mine. And I had the beating heart of the world at my hands. Everything was connected to the artifact.
But what,
The entire universe.
what are we? Why are we break? What is solved?
I don't
What do you
know
mean
what the problem.
solved?
I don't know what the problem is, but what I do know is that we have been given the opportunity, and only we have been given the opportunity to set something right.
But what do we need to set right?
Do we get to pick?
there are multiple things
I
we
think
can
so.
set right?
It showed me
It's
some
only
options,
one,
and the
or-
options that it showed me were not the right ones, and I know they weren't the right ones because when I chose it, it led to despair. But there is a right choice.
What happened?
I fell into deep obsession about something that I desperately want to fix.
I
And
look
put
at
right.
the scrawling on the paper and I'm like,
It's not that, Izzy, I promise. This was already fixed. This was already set in the vision and the dream that I had. It was about my father. But it's alright, I don't want to get into that.
okay.
What the point I'm trying to make is that another color.
Dull colored chalk.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just one
it's
of
like
those,
the-
sidewalk chalks.
Yeah, no, it's like the
Crayola.
Crayola. Yeah. The bucket.
There I don't know what it is, but I'll know when I do. There's something in here. There's some key to find to access it.
But sorry, Calyx also wants to break the pattern.
I think we're dealing with an extreme on both ends. I think there is a continuous pattern that is set, and they want us to just take a detour once. And Calyx wants to be rid of it entirely.
We can only do one.
And they've made themselves very clear, I turned back to the temple, that they're only going to watch and do nothing about it.
Okay. Hey. Chill. We don't know that they can do anything.
You're right. You're right. But how is it that we can't?
Yes,
Because
we can.
oh my god, Pip, I'm so sorry. I've never seen you this manic. And you just saying that, like, in your dream, you forming an obsession led to despair. I'm just gonna...
Oh, fair, I understand.
I'm just gonna put a little flag
I understand the concern.
Now you
and
see
the
red
risk.
flags.
Hey.
I also
You live and
learn. I understand the risk, Izzy, but I also know that it only happened when I abandoned you.
Me? Us.
All of you.
Okay.
But you too, Izzy.
I know, but that just put a lot of pressure on it. Okay.
When I keep you near, I think I'll know the right choice.
Well, it's a good thing. We can't go more than 100 feet.
And that's the first thing I have to do.
What?
And I just pack it all up, and I roll up the math, and I put it into my pack, and I,
No,
Wait.
please don't walk away. Please, Pip. Pip.
And I'm gonna start walking the dog.
Please, Pip.
And with that, as Pip begins his trek towards Donic in the
Come on,
Varden
let's get-
Scalus forests of Vardenzerol, that is where we are going to end our episode for today. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the dreamscapes, and
I did.
we'll see you for episode 14.
See you in your dreams.
I hate that.
Okay, well, that's our new sign off.